Hi everyone, today we prepared a brief information about Linux, one of the most popular operating systems in the world. It has been over 30 years since the first time Linux was introduced. Linus Torvalds, the founder of Linux operating system, introduced it in September 17, 1991, when he was still a student at University of Helsinki. There's also an interesting story about the naming of the system. The founder initially had two ideas: Freaks, which is free, freak, and X, as an allusion to Unix, and also Linux. However, he thought Linux was too egotistical and he didn't want to use it as the name for his invention. One of his volunteer administrators who were working alongside the founder, he didn't think the Freaks was a good name. So he went ahead and named the project Linux on the server without consulting Torvalds. Later, however, Torvalds consented the use of Linux. But he made sure to record himself and wanted to guide the users on how to use the name Linux. You can hear it here.
Hello, this is Linus Torvalds and I pronounce Linux as Linux.
So this was interesting story about Linux and we wanted to share it with you. Now we can proceed to the introduction of Linux slides. So we have information about Linux, about its distributions, how to install and use the Linux, quick tutorial for the beginners, and then the summary. So what's Linux? As we mentioned, it's an operating system which has been around since mid-1990s. This cute penguin, whose name is Tux, is a mascot of Linux operating system. The system is almost everywhere. It's in our phones, in thermostats, in the cars, refrigerators, and televisions. It also runs most of the internet, all of the world's 500 supercomputers, and the world's stock exchanges. But besides being the platform of choice to run desktop servers and systems, Linux is one of the most reliable, secure, and worry-free operating systems available. According to the recent statistics, the current market share of the Linux operating system is about 3.7%, while Microsoft Windows occupies about 72%, and Apple's macOS is about 16%. So what's operating system? It is the software that manages all of the hardware resources associated with desktop or laptop. To make it even more simple, you can consider operating system as a communication between software and hardware. Without operating system, the software wouldn't function. The users of Linux operating system are proud to call the Linux as the by the people and for the people, because it's an open source, available for everyone, easy to use, easy to install, and friendly. Linux has a variety of versions which can suit all the users. These versions are called distributions. Almost all distributions of Linux can be downloaded for free, burned into disk, and installed anytime. Some of the most popular distributions include Linux Mint, Manjaro, Debian, Ubuntu, Antigros, Solus, Fedora, Elementary, OpenUse. And it depends on the user's preference which one to download and start using. So how can we install and use Linux? This operating system offers one of the easiest installations of all operating systems. It can run from a CD, DVD, or USB flash without making any changes to the hard drive of the computer. Once the user decided to install it, it can be done through the following steps. The user must make sure the computer meets the technical requirements. And it's also connected to the internet. The hard drive has enough space to install and use the Linux. The user should select the location, it should select the keyboard of the system, and finally set up the username and password. This was the first part of our Linux introduction video. The next part we will start with quick tutorial for all the users on how to use Linux and the main commands. Thanks for your time. Keep learning.